we go on YouTube? I am sorry that there's not been a video for a few days, but booster, weather, real life shit, you don't need to hear about it. But relatively quick top 5 list, because let's face it, gaming gone to shit. So top 5 sins that gaming companies are getting away with. These are the sins that a company can do to the customers that are bad. So, the worst things they could do. Now, these are all, I don't want to say categorized together, but similar sins are put in the same category. So, things like, for example, I'll point it out when I get to it. So, I don't. These are not necessarily my opinions. These are factually categorized in but the order they're in, some people might find certain ones worse than others. But generally speaking, these are the 5 worst sins that a game company can do to the customer base. The first one here is digital price. Now, for people who are under a certain age, this is going to be like over the top of their head. They're not going to understand this. But when I talk about this category, I have to specify. I have to clarify a certain number of things here. Region. The region you're in around the world, prices are different. So before any, I want to try and get this PG. So before any idiots on Twitter going, oh, you paid that price, you must have been hard up because we only paid this price. In America, from what I could tell by the morons on Twitter, a full price game in America is $60 to $70. In my region, the Oceanic region, a full price game is $100. So if anyone turns around and says, oh, you paid $100 for the game, you must have been hard up, like some PG, like some moron did on Twitter, he's an idiot. He needs to get educated and think of there is more than just America on the planet. But this here is not what they're charging for the game, because yes and no, but further down the line, it'll come back to this. But the fact that they are charging the exact same price for a digital game as they are for a physical game, that's wrong. Like, I don't care where you're from, what country you're in, but if you're buying, for example, let's pick a popular game, Grand Theft Auto 5. And let's pick a price, $50. It doesn't matter what region you're in, it's $50. If you're paying $50 for a digital version of Grand Theft Auto, then the physical copy would be dearer, because you're getting the disc, you're getting the cover, there's the shipping, all that sort of shit. But the fact that, for example, if you go to a store, your local, depending on what country you're in, electronics boutique, game, what's that big one in America? I cannot remember what the big one in America is. Walmart, whatever. You go into a store, Grand Theft Auto's on the shelf, they're charging $50 for it. Okay, I can buy a physical copy for, say, $50. This is all falsified prices here. This isn't what, you can't go to Walmart, because I don't know what prices. I don't even know whether Walmart sells games. So, but if a physical store, a place you can walk into and, get customer service, go to the checkout and also get the cover with the disc in it. If they're charging $50, then the digital version should be cheaper, regardless. So it should not be $50. If you can buy a physical copy for $50, the digital version should be at least 25% less in price. So $50 game, physical, 50, digital should be around about the $30. 25 to $35. That is the sin that they're getting away with right now. They're charging the same price for a digital game as the physical games, and that is bullshit. All right. Of course, that's not a huge sin. That's why it's number 5. Now we've got this one. Okay, now additions. This is one of the categorized ones. Let's use an example of Grand Theft Auto again. The expanded and enhanced. They don't like it being called that anymore because it wasn't expanded. And it's only a little bit enhanced. I'm refusing to buy it. But the fact that the PS5 and the Series consoles got the expanded and enhanced, which is fair enough. Faster load times. It's not really faster. Better graphics. Not really. Better lighting. A little bit. Render distance. It's the same. So enhanced. Where? But the fact that they got... If you've got the edition, by all means, you can clarify in the comment section. But I believe they got like 3 or 4 new cars, a new workshop, and they got bonuses, a raised income for their businesses. Whereas current gen, which is the PS4 and the Xbox Ones and PC, did not receive that. So they are excluding particular formats from certain features, which is what the additions is relating to. So if a company releases a game, there was a dungeon crawler that recently came out. Dating Dungeon Girls or something, I can't remember what it's called. But the Nintendo Switch version and the Xbox version got one version. And then the PlayStation got a different version. Same game, but stuff was removed and shit was altered. It's like, no. Why is one platform getting one set of features or whatever, and a different platform getting different ones? It's like, no. Don't have different editions. And that's the same with going, at the moment, the biggest culprit is things like 2K. But going back to the pricing thing a little bit here, wrestling, WWE 2K22. A standard edition, $100 in my region. Then they've got one that's $130, $160, and one that's nearly $200. It's like, you expect me, coming back to this, to pay $200, double the price of a standard game, physical game, for a digital version that comes with what? A couple extra skins. It's like, hell no, fuck off. Oh my god. Okay, so that's sin 4. Sin 3. Paywalls and loot boxes. All 3 of these could have been lumped together. But as you can see, progressively getting worse. Now, loot boxes, obviously, they're the biggest sin out of all the stuff. But WWE 2K22, going back to that, that is the biggest culprit. That is clearly visible. You buy the game, get all these wrestlers. Now, wrestlers like Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Triple H, Undertaker, those kind of guys. They're in the game. They're there. You can see them in the list, but you got to pay for them. You can earn the credits to unlock them, but it's as grindy as hell. Or you can pay them real life money to unlock them instantly. That kind of stuff needs to stop. In the olden days, 2 generations ago of consoles, you'd go to the store, buy the disc, put the disc in, no day one patch, play the game, do the story, unlock a new character. Play the story with that new character, unlock another new character. No money is charged at all for anything. That's the way it needs to go back to. Have flamboyant stuff, optional stuff. So not an extra wrestler, but maybe just say a new outfit for that wrestler, or a new look. Have a skin for a gun or something that does absolutely nothing but changes the look of it. Yeah, that's fine. Charge for that. That's fine. It gives you no advantage. It's not unlocking. It's not locking content behind a wall of payments. It's giving extras if you wish to pay for it. But locking Hulk Hogan behind I don't know what they're charging for it, what we'll say a $5, $10 paywall. It's like, no, piss off. If he's in the game, have him unlockable, I don't know, have a match you got to play to unlock him or something like that. Okay. Sin 2, Overcharged. Now this is kind of going back to that, but it's in relation to... Now, overcharge doesn't mean just charging too much for a product, but it's also under-delivering. So, I'm trying to think of I don't want to use the example I'm going to use in number 1, because then people are going, oh, you're just bagging on that. Well, I would be bagging on. They deserve to be bagged on. They are the worst. Getting off track. If a game is advertised as something, Grand Theft Auto, we'll expanded and enhanced. We'll go that. The fact that you have to rebuy the new edition, which is the same as the current edition. So if you own the PS4 and the Xbox One version of Grand Theft Auto, excluding the free trial and excluding the first 3 months specials and stuff like that, base price is what they're going to charge. If you're got Grand Theft Auto 5 on the current gen, which is PS4 and Xbox One, and everyone says, no, PS5 and Series X is current gen. No, it's not. That's next gen. The current gen, PS4 and Xbox One, if you've got the Grand Theft Auto game on that, you have to rebuy the same game, because that's what it is. It's the same game for the next gen, which is the PS5 and the Series X. And let's face it, excluding the fact of the quality changes and like that being piss poor, excluding that, it's the fact that you're rebuying the same edition. Now, the overcharge part isn't so much that you have to rebuy it. Like, yeah, that's dirty, that's a sin. But it's the fact that it's the same thing. If you had to rebuy it, but it had proper ray tracing, it had a further render distance, the load times were quicker, graphically it was better, the physics were better, the rigging was better. If they had enhanced the game and expanded the game, then you could say, yeah, then it's worth paying for it again or paying an extra fee to upgrade. That's fine. But when it's literally just, let's upscale, which is AI, upscaling a texture for all the surfaces, and go, let's use ray tracing just for the shadows, which is nice and all, but literally that's pretty much all they've done is used ray tracing to, when you're running around as your character, and you look down and the sun's above you and you see your character's shadow. In the current gen, the shadow is, guesstimated by the game. Oh yeah, the shadow's about that. With the ray tracing version, which is the next gen, it goes, a beam of light came through there, it hit your character, so therefore there's a shadow. That's the only enhancement the next gen has. And yet they're charging a good lump of money for it. No, it's not a full price game if you're upgrading and stuff like that, which in a way, good on them for that. But 7 Days to Die, there's another good one. If you've got 7 Days to Die on the PS4 or the Xbox One, when the whole Telltale game thing happened, I'm not going to get into that, but when that happened, and the rights were up in the air and all that, and then Fun Pimps finally got the rights back, and they turned around and said, well, we're abandoning it on consoles, so the consoles are no longer getting updates. When the game goes to full release, so 1.8 on the PC, which could be whenever the hell they feel like it, because let's face it, it's up to them when they go, okay, it's done. Console users have to rebuy the game. Oh, and it's only on next gen. It's like, what? So they're gonna overcharge here. They're gonna charge you a full price for a game that we should have been getting already on the consoles, but we are not because they purposefully abandoned it. Then when it releases on full version on the PC, they're then going to charge a full price for the same game. It's like, that's overcharge. No, that is no. Okay, so to recap, we've got digital and physical. They should be different prices. Stop bringing out all these different editions. Like, go, here's your game, and all the content that's in the game is accessible without paywalls or loot boxes. I'm not even going to get into loot boxes. Everyone knows what loot boxes are. Everyone knows they're bad. And stop overcharging for shit. If the game is only like, if you've got a 2D top-down platformer type game and it's 8-bit, it's not worth full price. It's a budget game, charge a budget price. Same with these big like Ubisoft, EA, 2K, all those companies releasing subpar games. So we'll say a half-price game and they're charging full price for it. No. Stop that. Okay, and number 1, incorrect delivery. Now, currently standing, there is technically only one company that's doing it and getting away with it, and that's CD Projekt. But there are plenty of other companies that are trying to do it. 2K is one of them. They've done it with the was it soccer or / European football or something. They literally re-released a previous version, renamed it, and edited some of the names in it. It's like, no, that's the incorrect delivery. If you're promised something, you buy the product as labeled as that something, then deliver that product. So without beating the dead horse, because to be honest, it needs to be beaten until the turds actually correct it. CD Projekt with Cyberpunk. It was promised to be a mature, open world, role-playing, mature, uncensored game. We didn't get that. All these blind defenders on Twitter will say, oh yeah, we did it. Now, that game, Cyberpunk, fits into multiple of these categories. One, they overcharged for it. They charged full price for a game that should be on a budget price. The digital, give me a second. Okay, the digital and the physical were both the same price. And it was definitely not correct. So open world, I made a video about it before. Technically, if you do a certain number of missions, yes, it does become open world. Mature game, the only part of that game that is mature is the fact that they're actually breaking a law. I made a video about what law they're breaking. If you want to look into it, it's the Consumer Rights Act. What was the other one? Roleplay. There's no roleplay in it at all. Immersion. They keep saying, oh, you can be immersed in it. It's a little hard to be immersed when it's incorrect. Now, performance. Yeah, they have improved the performance slightly since its release. But the fact that they are still selling it at full price, and it is in the incorrect state at both the physical and the digital. The only one of these here, or technically not doing that one either, the only two of these things they're not doing are these two. There's technically, no, they did have editions, because you could buy the collector's edition, which comes with the figurine and everything. So the only one of these they're not so much doing is this one, paywalls and loot boxes. And let's face it, if they bring their first expansion out, that will technically be about a paywall. So it's, yeah, so but they're the 5 biggest sins. Now, there are other sins that game companies do, things like not optimizing their games correctly, and that's Cyberpunk again. Not informing people when stuff's getting done, like Gran Turismo recently. Not informing people that it's got an always online thing and that the servers are going to be taken down so they can alter it so it's harder to earn money. That lack of information there, that is technically that, along with that. So, like, I can literally point out, I could pick 5 games that have been recently released that are touted as full price AAA games, and most of them will have at least done 2 of these. Gran Turismo. It's an incorrect product. It is not an offline game. It is an online only. And it's got paywalls. It's not so much a paywall. It's you have to buy your way through it. But they are pushing buy currency. Let's see, what's another one? WWE 2K22. They're overcharging it because it's not a AAA game. They've got that in it. They've got that in it. And they've got that in it. Let's see, what's another one? Tiny Tina's. The only one of these is probably that one. Is what the only one to honor it. It'll be that one and number 2 are the only 2 sins that Tiny Tina's does. It overcharges because it's not a full price AAA game. It should be a 3/4 price game, and they do charge the same. Almost every game does this one. So let's pick another one. Grand Theft Auto. If we're going to go all versions, then we can't so much do that because it does deliver the correct product-ish. But next gen, it does not do this. It does not enhance and expand. So it's doing that. If you buy Grand Theft Auto 5 expanded and enhanced, you expect expanded and enhanced, and it doesn't do either. So enhanced loosely, yeah, it does. Ray tracing shadows, wow. Let's pick Gran Turismo. I think I've said that one. Let's see. Let's pick another one. Recently, the 2047, Call of Duty one. I don't know whether they ever charged, never looked price. I'm pretty sure they had additions. The two versions were the same, so that's a sin that they've done. They overcharged. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure you had to buy it. It wasn't a free to play, so they overcharged because it was definitely not a AAA game. And technically they've done that as well because they promised a Call of Duty 2047 to be a back to the roots type, you know, what they used to be, and it wasn't. So they've done that as well. And then you got Cyberpunk 2070, Cyberpunk's that, yes. That, yes. That, not yet. That, yes. And that, yes. So Cyberpunk has done all those sins, except for that, until they bring out the first expansion. Then, yes, technically doing that as well. So there's the sins, anyway. So let's just quickly go over it again. Charging the same price for digital as a physical. That's a sin. And almost every game does it nowadays, and it's disgusting. That needs to stop. Bringing out different versions or editions, especially between platforms. So not so much like a standard edition and a collector's edition. If the collector's edition comes with, I don't know, a keychain and stuff like that, if you're a big fan of the game, then that's fine. But when they're going, oh, Sony PlayStation is going to get this, but then the Xbox is going to get this with extra features because reasons, then that's a no. Then we've got paywalls and loot boxes. It's, charging real life money for shit. Gran Turismo is doing it. Grand Theft Auto is doing it. All the 2K games, all that, they're all doing it. So if you can pay real life money and get an advantage over somebody, Gran Turismo is a good example, and so is Grand Theft Auto. If you've just started playing Grand Theft Auto, for example, if you pay whatever the full price of the game is, and that's it, you jump into the game, you get nothing. You get the game, and you have to earn your money. But if you give them an extra $100 or whatever, get some shark cards, get a handful of millions of dollars, you can buy yourself an Oppressor Mark II or an Attack Chopper or something like that, and you've got an advantage. So it's a pay to win. It's a paywall. That needs to stop. Overcharging. All these games that are coming out recently that are charging AAA prices. So 2K22s, the wrestling and stuff, they're charging full price. And they're not full price games. They are rehashes of last season, the season before. It's, we'll update the roster and then we'll charge them the full price. It's like, no. Put the effort in and then charge the price for the effort. If you don't put any effort in, you charge no price. It's that simple. So if a game comes out that they put a lot of effort into, it's got all this original stuff in there, and it's a good fun game to play, then they can charge full price for it. That's fine. But if Grand Theft Auto here, if they literally just port the game over, use AI to upscale the textures and go, ooh, let's use ray tracing shadows. Ooh, it's enhanced, and then charge a price for that. It's like, come on, man. If you're not putting the effort in, don't charge the price for the effort you're not doing. And sin number one, what the game is labeled as, or what the game is advertised as, it has to be that. It's that simple. If you're selling a game that is labeled as a role-play game, make it a role-play game. If you're selling a game that is open world, make it an open world game. If you're saying it's a 3D platformer and it's a 2D side scroller, it's like, that is incorrect. So all these things here have to stop. And they're not going to stop until people, like these defenders on Twitter that are defending Cyberpunk for doing that sin, that sin, that sin, technically that sin, and when the first expansion comes out, that's sin. So Cyberpunk is doing all these sins, or they will be when the first expansion comes out. And the defenders are defending them for doing these sins. If the expansion came out, but the game wasn't overcharged or incorrect, or the same price for digital and physical, you could say, okay, you could charge for an expansion because it's warranted, it's earned. But when it's breaking all the, it's doing all these other sins, it's like, no, fuck off. So I'm going to call it there, guys. If there's a sin you believe the gaming industry are doing, and it needs to stop, by all means, throw it in the comment section. If someone's already commented the sin you believe is what people are doing, like The Sims, Sims 4, yes, Sims 4. The Sims 4 is doing pretty much all these sins here, except for the first one. Yeah, it is The Sims. But they're definitely overcharging, like seriously, like some of their DLC pack things, 20, 30 bucks for what? A couple of pieces of clothing or a couple of chairs? It's like, no, piss off. And that's paywalling and overcharging in the same sin. The editions, well, they do have this different editions, but then when you buy the different editions, you still got to buy the extra stuff that is overcharged. It's, what the hell? The digital and physical, for DLCs, you can't really categorize that as being a digital price and a physical price being different. You should be able to, but you cannot buy the DLCs as a physical thing, which blows, and that needs to come back in, because I can remember in Sims 1 and 2, I've actually got them somewhere on disc. The Sims 1 and 2, I've got all the DLCs that came out, and they're all on disc. You buy the Sims, you install the Sims, you buy the DLC, you put the DLC disc in, it installs the DLC stuff, and you actually run the game from the DLC disc. That's back when it wasn't, where is it, that one there, where it wasn't, no, not that one, this one, where it wasn't getting overcharged for, because you'd buy the disc and it was like basically a whole mini game for the price of what they're charging for 4 pieces of clothing now. It's like, what the hell? Okay, well, I'm out here, guys. You all stay safe. Take care of each other, and I'll catch you all next time.